What's up, people? Good morning. I have a question. I have a very important question. What do you do on a Sunday? What do you do on a Sunday? Because for me, Sundays are just majestic, are important days, are the days for creativity, are the days for doing whatever I want to do, including taking walks. I love taking walks, and mostly in the city of Vienna, beautiful city, to take a walk. Now the sun is here, so weather is nice and better, and that kind of gives me motivation to walk around. Now, and one of the main reasons that I like taking walks is also to take advantage of this city. You know, the city of Vienna is just safe. It's just safe. I don't have to be checking the map. I don't have to be checking like the different districts in case I'm gonna, I don't know, like run into a very dark, shady place. It is almost okay to walk around everywhere, especially during the daylight. So I'm just chilling. By the way, hello everyone, I'm Daniel and welcome back to the channel. Usually on Sundays I have no plan. I like to walk around, I like to look for coffee places, sometimes I like to buy flowers. But for example today, the day is just nice. The day is just nice. I just want to walk around. Now, before you say something, I have to give you a little bit of backstory. The issue is that for me this is so calming. Places like Vienna and obviously many other countries around the world provide this calm, serenity, harmony on Sundays. Because you have to understand that I come from a country where Sundays are not particularly calm. So let me tell you about it because it's just funny. You know, in Colombia, Sundays, yeah, usually everyone is just free. You know, Sunday is Sunday, right? I say this because probably there are countries where Sunday is not Sunday. You know what I mean? On Sunday, you dust off your bike and you just go for a nice ride. You go jogging, you go playing football, basketball, whatever it is. Sunday is the day for sports. Sunday in Colombia basically is the international lunch day, meaning you go have lunch at grandma's place or your aunt's place, and at home, my mom probably any Sunday, doesn't matter what happens, any Sunday is the day that she's going to prepare the biggest lunch, the biggest meal, because she has the time, because she wants to, because that's the tradition. You eat good and for free. Yes, as many other places, Sundays we also have like these markets, like neighborhood markets or district markets, where you can get, you know, fruits, veggies, with, I don't know, a better price, that they come directly from, I don't know, farms and all that. So yeah, it's a day that you just go with your dad, your mom, your grandma, just to get the veggies. Right now here in Vienna, I'm passing by the middle of Nash Market. Talking about markets, this is probably one of the biggest markets that we might have in Vienna. Things are pretty much closed today, but things in regards of restaurants, like all this usually during the days is open. You have food, you have drinks, you have coffee. But as you can see, well, many things is Sunday, they are just taking a rest. Well, for sure, not everything is closed. There is something that in Colombia is not particularly obvious, which is the calm, the serenity of a Sunday. Because Sundays, first of all, is kind of the national day for cleaning. So literally Sunday, 8, 9 a.m., if you pass by any neighborhood, you're going to hear people just cleaning, you know, using their vacuumers, using washing machines. They are like, I mean, that's literally the sound that you hear like everywhere. They're cleaning. People outside like washing their cars, washing their bicycles. Literally is a day for cleaning anything. You see, usually moms, they love to just clean windows, doors, do the gardening. Literally anything that has to be done regarding the household is done on Sundays. Wait, random fact, around Nash Market, which I think this is between the 5th and the 6th district. This is Margareten in one side, and then the other side we start having Neubau. I think I'm right about that. You have such beautiful buildings. The architecture is amazing. Check this out. However, Latino people, Latino moms, Latino aunts, your girlfriend, your sister, whoever, they wouldn't do anything on a Sunday without music. music is a must. And I'm not talking about having moderate volumes. No, no, no. Every house is going to open their doors and windows just to let them know what they are listening to in their house. Everything is loud. And if you go more like to the north, to the Caribbean, to the coast, you won't imagine. You're walking the neighborhoods and you pass by houses and houses and everyone is listening to something different. Loud, loud. Yes, it's my family. Yes, it's my country. Those are my roots. But I don't feel completely identified with the noise. I do enjoy silent mornings, mornings where I can just be myself, have a coffee. I don't need loud music. I don't need to, you know what I mean? Now, there is one thing that I see in Europe that I wish we could have in South America. A little bit more, I would say. To some extent, which is the culture of having the second-hand shops. You know what I mean? That, I think that is so nice. I think that is such a way to, recycle, to give things a second life, a second use. And we don't have that culture anymore, or we are in the process. But as I remember, we never really had that thing of second-hand shops or thrift shopping, which I think is so cool and I just love it. I already told you that on Sunday, mom cooks. That's the thing. Mom cooks and you just enjoy the food. Simple. But we have to talk about the smell. There is something that reminds me South America so much, mostly Colombia, my city, and it's the smell of food. Because this is something that for some people it's kind of hard to understand. You are out doing whatever. You just pass any neighborhood. Besides the music, besides people doing, the households, cleaning cars, bicycles, etc., you smell food. You smell warm soup being made. You smell chicken. You smell all that. This is something that is just so South American. Now, I don't know if you have noticed, I'm just walking around and I don't know, but I've never seen so many graffitis. Have you noticed, look, every wall, I never, wait, what? I'm confused now. Everywhere I look, there are graffitis everywhere. Oh my God. And look at this one. I guess you have heard about the red car theory. Like, if I ask you right now, how many red cars have you seen today? Probably you're like, I'm not sure. But if you pay attention on red cars only, you're gonna see red cars like everywhere. That's happening to me right now. Now I see graffitis and huge wall, murals, graffitis everywhere. This is something that I shouldn't do, but should I scare them? Am I going to hell? This, boo, boo, boo. They don't get scared. Whoa, we go. They are gangsta. Those are gangsta pigeons. Damn. The funny thing is, like, my family is asking all the time, like, don't you miss the music? Don't you miss the smells? Don't you miss the food and all that? Certainly I do. I mean, I would do wrong if I say that I do not miss all those things. Obviously, yeah. Mostly the food of mama. Ooh. But the issue, at least in terms of my personality, I'm not into the loud stuff. I'm not into, I don't know, showing off in any way. So that side of having those Sundays for, let's move it, music on, like, I do clean my house. I do my stuff, but can we do it in silence? Thank you. Ooh la la, perfect for a break. So maybe this is the perfect time to ask you, can you please explain to me what is a Sunday like in your country? Like, what is it like? Is it as loud as I'm mentioning Colombia could be? Or is it just silent as Vienna? I mean, what do you do? What do people do in Sundays? Do you go just to the market or you just stay at home? Are supermarkets open? Do you clean your house? Do you clean your car? What is a Sunday like for you? Just leave it in the comments. Also something that you can tell me. So Maybe I don't feel alone in this one. Do you also feel like me that maybe for some reason you don't feel completely identified where, I mean, the country you come from? Maybe there is something that you are like, I love my country, but there is something that I'm just too different. I just feel sometimes I'm different to the rest of people, like my family or my friends, like me. Colombian, Latinos, music loud. I'm not like that. Do you have something also in your case? By the way, there is something so funny. I guess you have heard this, at least in Spanish, is something that nobody cooks like grandma or nobody cooks like mom, meaning that they cook the best, right? And I always thought that grandmas are just the best for cooking. You know, there is no grandma on earth that doesn't know how to cook. I was wrong. Well, I was wrong because I have one friend from Colombia whose grandma is like, my dear, go to some, I don't know, cooking lessons, culinary, because that grandma failed in being grandma. I know that you can knit, you can do arts, you can do pottery, you can do whatever you grandmas do, but if you don't cook, you fail at grandma, at grandmomming. Or if you are already a grandma and you don't know how to cook, my dear, you are failing in grandmomming. I would say the same about aunts and uncles. There is no uncle or aunt on earth that doesn't like gossip. If you are an aunt and you don't like gossip, you are failing in aunting. That's life. So a couple of the other things that I used to do when I was a kid was playing with my dad basketball every Sunday. And by the way, there is a long story that maybe I should tell in a different video. The way that my mom met my dad, or maybe the opposite, the way my dad met my mom. My dad was a soccer player. He used to play soccer like when he was, younger, and then he met my mom because they were friends of friends. And my mom was a basketball player. She liked to play, and she played for the city down there in Colombia. And then my dad switched to basketball because he wanted to be closer to my mom, like meeting her and getting to know her, etc., etc. That's a longer story. My dad plays basketball till today. Love story. Wait, I mean, talking about basketball, that was the sport that I practiced the most when I was in my, childhood and my teenage years. I practiced basketball for around 6 years, and then I switched to swimming for a couple of years. Then I did volleyball for a couple of years. And then the last one that I practiced, like, let's say, not professionally, but like formally, that I was going to a place to practice with a coach, that like in a team, was volleyball. I tried football, but the very first day that I tried football for the very first time, that was also my last day. Simple. Because, yeah, I was good at running and defense and whatever, but shooting the ball, I just have like two left legs. Just doesn't work. I didn't lie when I told you that the weather in Vienna is just unpredictable, like your ex-boyfriend. Literally, when I started this video, it was sunny, it was nice and warm, and now it's grayish, and I feel it's gonna be raining soon. So yeah, all in all, I just have very good memories from my Sundays living in Colombia as a kid. Just bringing friends home for doing homework for the next day. My dears, not much to say. This was Sunday. I just wanted to take a walk, talk to you a little bit. Yeah, walking around with you in Vienna. But now weather is really not okay. My dears, thank you so much for watching. That was all for this video, and also the weather now is changing again. But we accomplished the purpose of a Sunday, which is just going out, being a little bit active, breathing air, just going around the city, feeling alive. No, I'm joking, but you know that I love to walk, so thank you so much for being with me, for walking around, for listening to me. I think that this is just me, you know, walking around the city, talking to you, talking to friends, you, my friends. So I just feel happy about it. Do not forget to subscribe, to like, to comment. That's gonna help me a lot. And nothing. Have a nice life, have a nice day, have a nice week, have a nice everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.